Chris, how does Senator Rubio sell this to the conservative members of his party?
Well, you know, he has been on the offensive here for several months, meeting with conservative talk show hosts, conservative editorial boards, making the case that it's a conservative case, it's a conservative bill to strengthen the fabric of business in our country, providing needed workers, and a pathway to citizenship that really will, as we said in 2007, it was a very, popular catchphrase, going to the back of the line. And that's what folks will be doing here. They will grant people who came here illegally some kind of temporary legal status where they would be able to work and to travel, but they would not become citizens. And then after a decade or so, they would then be allowed to apply for a more permanent status. And that's important, I think, for Republicans. But, I had lunch with an old Republican Senate hand this week who said that it really is a tougher lift to get immigration through than anybody is really talking about right now. We saw it in 2007. You had John McCain and Ted Kennedy, two lions of the Senate, two master deal makers. It fell apart on them, and while things look very positive right now, it's a long way from having a piece of legislation put on the Senate floor to getting it passed. And then, of course, as we talked about with guns, it runs into the same problem in the House. So this is certainly a positive step, and Rubio is going to get out there ahead of the week. He's going to do 7 Sunday shows, as you point out, to try to ease this legislation into the public discourse. But we're still a long way from finished here, Chris.
Yeah, and as an example of long way from finished, Senator Lamar Smith wrote an op-ed, quote, "Let's not repeat our mistakes. The Senate proposal gives amnesty to everyone before the border is secure. That's not a smart or successful plan." How do they get this done, David?
Well, I think the best way to get this done is not to rush it. Senator Rubio has made very clear that he would like to see a process that's deliberate and methodical, with hearings, with a healthy committee markup in the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. In the House, that could mean 2 or 3 committees. And then a very open floor process where you have plenty of debate, plenty of amendments offered, and nobody feels like they don't know what's in the bill, and that nobody midway through or near the finish line gets surprised, whether it's a political surprise and all of a sudden they have to act like, oh, I didn't realize it was so bad, or it's a legitimate surprise where they thought the bill was one thing and it turns out it's another. I think that the senator's right, and while some people, and especially people who really want this to happen, are going to worry that extra time means people can defeat it, if you rush it, it's going to kill it, and if you lose Rubio over process or substance, you're going to lose the bill, because I actually think it could pass in the House and the Senate, but they've got to thread the needle.
David Drucker, Chris Freites, great to talk to both of you. Have a great weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Chris.